You think the shift will come later, after more study, more meditation, more effort. It won't. It's already happening. Right now. In the exact moment your attention meets these words, reality is folding in on itself, rearranging around the simple fact of your awareness. Pause. Feel that. The slight charge in the air. The body tightening, expanding, warming, as if something invisible has just noticed you noticing it. That's not imagination. That's the quantum field responding to observation, to you. The ancient mystics called it revelation. Modern physics calls it wave collapse. Different language, same event. Consciousness meeting itself and creating form through the act of seeing. Look around you. Everything in your environment right now, the screen, the light, the sound, the breath, is not a background. It's a participant. When you focus, the universe focuses with you. Your gaze isn't passive. It's directive. You are not a receiver of experience. You are the generator of its arrangement. Think about it. Out of infinite possibilities, you landed here, on this moment, reading this exact sentence, as if the cosmos curved gently to make sure your awareness and these words intersected. Coincidence? Or alignment? Every probability wave that could have carried you elsewhere collapsed when you chose presence over distraction. That single decision, to stay, activated the shift. It's irreversible now. Because what is seen cannot be unseen. What is awakened cannot pretend to sleep again. You may feel something subtle, like pressure behind the eyes, a hum in the chest, the mind wanting to label it as weird. Ignore the label. Stay with the sensation. That vibration is the first tremor of your field reorganizing. You're not learning new knowledge. You're entering new frequency. Awareness is the alchemy. It doesn't need rituals, chants, or teachers. It needs only your participation. And participation begins the moment you notice you're aware. That's the hinge of transformation, when attention turns upon itself and discovers that the observer and the observed are not two. You may still think this is just poetic talk, but science already knows. The observer changes the experiment. Particles behave differently when watched. So do thoughts, emotions, and events. Attention is not neutral, it's creative. And the instant you understand that, not intellectually but viscerally, your timeline bends. Look closer at the present moment. Notice its thickness. Usually we treat now as a passing point between past and future. But that's illusion. The present is vast, an ocean disguised as a second. And in that ocean, every possible reality coexists until you choose one by looking. So look carefully. What reality are you energizing with your gaze? Fear, doubt, or awakening itself? Whatever you attend to collapses into form. Right now, your choice is simple but absolute. Stay aware. Keep reading. Don't drift into thought. Because as your awareness stays anchored, your field is calibrating to coherence, to resonance with truth. This isn't motivation. It's mechanics. You're literally reorganizing the quantum architecture of your life. Take one breath, in fully, out slowly. Do it again. That's it. That's the doorway. Nothing mystical, nothing far away. Just consciousness aware of itself, breathing itself into existence. You've already crossed the threshold. Not by believing anything, not by doing anything, but by being aware that you're aware. That's the instant of ignition, the spark that begins the irreversible cascade. This is how the shift begins, quietly, intimately, without ceremony. No light flashes, no cosmic trumpets. Only awareness meeting awareness and recognizing itself. From here, everything changes, not because the world alters, but because the one who perceives it has. Stay present. Episode 2 will reveal the first signs of transformation, the visible ripples that appear when reality begins to notice you. You've felt it, haven't you? The strange distortions of time. The moments that stretch like elastic, where hours pass in minutes, or minutes unfold like whole days. You check the clock, convinced it's wrong. It isn't. It's you who has slipped out of linear time. Time isn't rigid. It's pliable. Einstein proved it mathematically. Mystics have lived it for centuries. Now you're experiencing it, your consciousness bending the timeline to match the frequency of awareness. When you're deeply present, time dissolves into the eternal now. When you drift into thought, it hardens again into sequence. You're beginning to see the gears of reality move. You may notice déjà vu becoming frequent, not the casual kind, but the heavy one, where the air thickens and the world pauses for a heartbeat. You know exactly what someone is about to say. You feel the moment replaying itself, like the universe skipped a beat. Reality stutters because the simulation of solidity can't keep up with how fast your awareness is updating. Don't be afraid. You're not losing your mind. You're witnessing the quantum field refresh itself in real time. Every instant is a recalibration, data rearranging, probabilities reordering, space-time rippling around consciousness. Objects may seem less solid, colors sharper, edges glowing faintly. Sometimes the world feels paper-thin, like you could reach through it. And in a sense, you can. Because it's not a wall, it's a projection, a film of light played on the screen of your awareness. You'll begin noticing what I call echo events, subtle repetitions. A car passing twice. A stranger appearing in two different places the same day. Words repeating in random conversations. These aren't glitches. They're harmonics, the field testing resonance between timelines. Your consciousness is slipping between them, tasting multiple realities before choosing one. At night, dreams intensify. Not chaos, but meaning. Symbols glow with strange precision. You wake knowing you were somewhere real, though it can't be mapped. Dreams are no longer subconscious noise. They're parallel realities synchronizing. You're becoming multi-channel consciousness, aware across worlds. Another sign, information downloads. Sudden insight without logic. Knowledge that arrives complete, as if remembered, not learned. You'll catch yourself knowing things you've never studied. Solutions, patterns, entire ideas forming like lightning. Your mind didn't invent them. It tuned into them. Like an antenna catching frequency from the zero-point field, the ocean of intelligence underlying existence. The more coherent your state, the clearer the reception. When you're calm, centered, open, the channel widens. When you're anxious or distracted, static returns. That's not punishment, it's feedback. Your system teaching you how to align with higher data streams. Even your body will confirm the shift. Tingling at the crown. Heat behind the eyes. Pressure in the chest or base of the spine. A current running through you with no visible cause. It's energy, pure and measurable. Prana, chi, biofield. Flowing through meridians that have been dormant for lifetimes. Your biology is upgrading to translate higher frequencies into perception. And the strangest sign of all, you begin to suspect that your life has rewritten itself while you weren't looking. Memories slightly different. Objects misplaced, then reappearing. Tiny details not matching your recollection. This is not confusion. It's convergence. Multiple timelines blending into one coherent narrative. You are selecting the version of reality most aligned with your current vibration. When fear arises, breathe. Don't fight the changes. They're confirmations that you've crossed the first threshold. Your field is adjusting to a broader bandwidth of being. You used to live inside time. Now time lives inside you. You used to think the world was fixed. Now it's fluid, responsive, alive. This is what the beginning of awakening feels like. Not peace at first, but disorientation. Because the structures of illusion are melting, and the real is shining through the cracks. Stay with it. In the next episode, we'll face what every seeker meets at the midpoint. The death of identity. The necessary fire through which the self is reborn as awareness itself. Every awakening begins as a birth. But every birth begins with pressure. With pain. With the illusion that everything is falling apart. You feel it now. The tension between who you were and what's emerging. The mind fights back, terrified, because it senses what's coming. It's the end of its reign. The ego whispers, don't go further. Stop here. You'll lose control. And it's right. You will lose control. Because the one who believed they had it never existed. This is not death of the body. It's the unraveling of the mask that called itself me. The identity stitched from memories, opinions, fears, and borrowed stories. The fragile collection of thoughts pretending to be solid. At first, it feels like chaos. You may wake up disoriented, unsure of what's real. Your name feels strange in your mouth. Your reflection looks like someone else. You stand before the mirror and see, not a person, but awareness staring back through eyes that once belonged to a character. Breathe. Don't run from this. It's not madness. It's clarity breaking the shell. Every system resists transformation. The caterpillar thrashes inside the cocoon before it becomes the butterfly. You're not losing yourself. You're dissolving the illusion that you ever had one. Thoughts will scream to be believed. Who am I without my story? Without my goals? Without my name? Let them scream. They're echoes from a collapsing timeline. Every thought that dies makes more space for what's real. There comes a moment, quiet, still, when you finally stop chasing stability. When you realize the ground you've been searching for never existed. And strangely, that realization doesn't destroy you. It frees you. In that silence, something vast opens. Not light or vision, but awareness. Infinite, borderless, unmoving. And you recognize it as you. Not the you who tries or thinks or becomes. The you that simply is. The body keeps breathing. The heart keeps beating. The world keeps turning. But the center that claimed ownership is gone. At first, there's terror. The mind shouts, if I'm not me, who's living this life? But slowly, the answer rises, not as a thought, but as a knowing. Life is living itself through me. You realize the I that suffered was never real. A temporary interface consciousness used to navigate form. Now that interface is transparent. You see through it, yet still use it. Like an actor aware of the stage, yet fully inside the play. This is the sacred paradox. You vanish, yet everything remains. You lose yourself and gain the entire universe. When you stop identifying with the one who experiences, experience itself becomes luminous. Pain is no longer an enemy. It's sensation dancing in awareness. Fear becomes energy moving through space. Sadness becomes depth without story. Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be changed. Because the one who needed fixing was a dream character in a dream that's ending. And here's the secret. That death you feared your whole life. It's happening now, and it's beautiful. The fire that once felt destructive is purification. The ashes are not loss. They are freedom. Stay still as the identity burns. Let every false name dissolve. Because on the other side of this fire waits the truth that can't die. The awareness that was never born. In the next episode, we'll explore what arises when the ashes settle. Life after the shift, where the world still exists, but you're no longer trapped inside it. The fire has passed. What remains is silence. Not empty, but full. The kind of silence that breathes, that hums beneath every sound. It's the stillness after the storm when everything glows with strange clarity. You wake up and the world looks softer. Colors breathe. Time stretches like a gentle tide. Nothing has changed, and yet everything has. This is what life feels like after the collapse of the false self. You're still here, but not as the person you used to be. The thoughts still come, but they no longer have authority. Emotions still arise, but they pass like clouds across an open sky. You've stopped fighting your experience. The war inside you is over. There's nothing left to defend because there's no one left to defend it. You walk through the world lighter. You don't need to be impressive, right, or understood. You simply are. And from that being, everything flows effortlessly. Work happens. Conversations happen. Love happens. But there's no doer. Just doing. Just life unfolding through form. The body now feels like an instrument. Tuned, resonant, sensitive. You can sense energy moving through it like currents in water. Sometimes a pulse at the crown. A flutter in the heart. A vibration in the palms. These are not symptoms. They're signals. Your system aligning with higher coherence. You find yourself naturally quiet. Not because you're suppressing speech, but because words feel heavy when silence communicates more truth. And when you do speak, each word lands with precision. You say less, but everything carries more. You notice that problems don't vanish, but their weight dissolves. Life still brings challenge, loss, endings, beginnings. But there's a clarity in how it all moves. You can face what comes without resistance because you finally understand. Experience is never the enemy. It's the expression. Suffering depended on one thing, identification. Now that the I, who suffered, is seen through, pain still visits, but it doesn't stay. It arrives, delivers its message, and leaves like weather passing through the sky. You start to see beauty everywhere. Not romanticized beauty, but the raw presence of existence itself. A crack in the pavement glowing in sunlight. A stranger's laugh in a crowded street. Even decay looks sacred because you see the cycle behind it. Birth hiding inside death, endings folding into beginnings. You feel connected, not sentimentally, but literally. Every face reflects your own awareness back at you. Every movement of wind, every echo of sound feels like your own body. The universe isn't around you anymore. It's in you, as you. Love appears differently now. It's no longer need or longing. It's recognition, awareness meeting itself in another form. You don't love to get. You love because you are love. Unconditional, radiant, self-existing. Even death loses its shadow. You understand that nothing real can end. Form dissolves, but what you truly are remains untouched. Watching it all like light watching shadows move across a wall. And slowly, you realize. The shift didn't give you new powers or status. It gave you simplicity. It brought you home to what was always here. Awareness, being, peace. You laugh more now. You cry more freely. Everything feels vivid but weightless. The play of life continues, and you're both actor and audience. Fully engaged, fully free. This is life after the shift, ordinary, yet luminous. A world that no longer needs fixing because it's finally seen as perfect in motion. In the next episode, we'll lift our gaze beyond the personal. You'll see how this awakening isn't yours alone. It's part of a wave rising through all of humanity. The collective quantum awakening. You're not alone. What's unfolding within you is echoing across the planet. Millions of hearts are stirring at the same frequency, like countless tuning forks vibrating to one note. Awareness remembering itself. The signs are subtle but everywhere. People speaking more truth, even when it costs them comfort. Artists creating not for fame, but for resonance. Children asking questions no adult can answer, because their consciousness is already wired for a new paradigm. Humanity stands at the same threshold you crossed. The pressure you felt, the collapse, the rebirth. It's happening now on a global scale. Systems are cracking. Institutions wobble. Old certainties disintegrate. It looks chaotic, even apocalyptic. But underneath the noise, something luminous is being born. The same quantum mechanics that govern your awakening apply to civilization itself. Observation changes reality. And collective attention, billions of observers focusing, is collapsing humanity's future into new potential. Every person who awakens stabilizes the field. Each realization adds coherence to the whole. You are not one drop in the ocean. You are the ocean awakening through each drop. That's why your awakening matters. Not for enlightenment points, not to escape the world, but because the vibration of your clarity ripples outward, making it easier for others to remember. You become a signal, a quiet transmitter of truth without needing to speak. Your presence alone begins to recalibrate the space around you. Walk into a room, notice how silence follows. Speak, and people lean in, not because of charisma, but because consciousness recognizes itself in you and wants to listen. This is how the new earth is forming, not through revolutions or ideologies, but through resonance. A frequency shift so deep that it reorganizes human reality from the inside out. Imagine this. A species discovering that war is self-harm, that competition is self-fragmentation, that cruelty is confusion about identity. When enough minds realize this, not intellectually, but experientially, conflict becomes obsolete. Science will catch up and call it morphic resonance, collective coherence, neurosynchrony. Mystics will call it unity consciousness. Both will be describing the same event. Humanity, remembering it is one organism. You can already feel it. Moments when you sense global emotion. When sadness in one place ripples through you. When joy from a stranger online fills your chest. You're tuning to the planetary nervous system. A web of awareness reactivating after a long sleep. So what's your role? To stay awake. To live authentically. To refuse the old game of pretending to be less than infinite. You don't need to teach or preach. You only need to be real. And reality itself will teach through you. Let your work, your art, your kindness become transmission. Let your presence be permission for others to exhale and remember. That's how the wave spreads. Not through force, but through remembrance. Soon, you'll see more eyes shining with recognition. More conversations about consciousness in ordinary places. More laughter that sounds like relief. That's the collective quantum shift. Not a future event, but a now unfolding through every open heart. This is the new era of humanity. Not humans seeking God, but God remembering itself as humanity. Not awakening from the world, but awakening within it. And when you look around and realize that every face, every voice, every heartbeat is another version of the same awareness that breathes through you, you'll know the truth that ends all seeking. You were never separate. You never needed to awaken alone. The shift was never personal. It was universal, inevitable, and it's already complete. Welcome home, not just to yourself, but to us.